So, if we abandon attachment with this life, then what do we do? The simple answer. The answer is, then we have to cultivate the mind of abandoning the samsara. So, abandoning the attachment to the samsara, that's what we need to cultivate. Then the question is, what do we do then? By abandoning the attachment to the samsara, what next? So there are two things that we can aim for. You can aim something quite doable, something that is, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say this, but easy way out, a simpler solution. I'm telling you these things because we, the so-called Mahayana practitioners, students, we have developed this attitude towards the Shalvaka path. We have developed this attitude towards attainment such as arhat. I have to confess, myself, arhat is very tempting. It's a very tempting. It's not, especially after reading Chandrakirti's Theravada, this Chandrakirti said, the arhat and pratyeka Buddha stages or the achievements are like the island when these ancient treasure hunters go fishing for treasures in infinite giant ocean. They get so homesick and tired and depressed. So the Bodhisattvas manifest island where they can park for a few days, and then they get little encouraged, get out of depression, and then go ahead. There's that kind of account, and then also I want to say that I want to sell our hardship a little bit here first. Even though actually I'm doing the opposite thing. I shouldn't be doing this, especially on the third point. Also, it is believed in the sutras that arhats, they can remain in the nirodha for eons after eons. To me, that's not a disadvantage in my ears. And especially if you hear both Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they will send lights to wake them up. So, at the end, something good will happen anyway. It's almost guaranteed. And also, as an arhat, basically you are not returning to the samsara at all. So this is quite a secure situation. So that's what you can aim for. If you abandon attachment to the samsara, what do you do next? You have two things you can achieve. One is arhat. Or I guess you can also say three, Pratyeka Buddha, but kind of they're grouped into one. And then the second one, the most supreme achievement is enlightenment. Fully enlightenment stage. These are the two things that you can aim for. So, even though arhatship, or the arhat state, is a very, very powerful and blissful. It is, according to the Mahayana Sutras, it is said that death is still the achievement of the Mahaparinirvana, or the state of the Buddha. Okay. Among many other reasons why the Buddha and the state of the Buddha is better than Arhat is when we talk about ability or quality, yantan quality. Things are judged by quality. If you buy an espresso maker, espresso machine, you judge this by its quality, how long it lasts, how easy it is to maintain, or how kind of where it is made, so on and so forth. So, quality, yantan in Tibetan, yantan or the quality is what we judge with everything. So, similarly, if you look at the quality of the Arhat and the quality of the Buddha, the enlightenment, the fully enlightened state, then with two reasons, with the two kind of cause, the state of the Buddha is much more grander. Buddha, the function or the quality of the Buddha, from two angles, to benefit oneself and to benefit others. From the both angles, state of the Buddha is much more grander. Although Arhat may not enter into samsara, many Arhats are still subject to the cause and conditions that they have gathered in the past. There are many stories or accounts like that. For instance, Arhat, I can't remember the Sanskrit name, Gurchun, who actually basically suffered drinking ashes or something. And Mogalia, or one of the Buddha's chief disciples, who has deficiencies, not really deficiencies, when it comes to omniscience, like he couldn't perceive where his mother was. After his mother died, he didn't know where his mother is reborn. So these are the examples of how there is a shortage in their quality. So if there is a shortage, then you are subject to the all-pervasive suffering again. And not only that, the purpose of enlightenment is generally benefiting other sentient beings. And if you really want to benefit others, and which you must with all the reasons I gave earlier, because of the interdependent origination, then without a doubt the state of the Buddha is something that one must try to achieve. There's just too many information regarding this, so I don't know which one to kind of choose, or I hope maybe during the question and answer sessions we can actually clear some doubts if you have any. Okay, so to make it a simpler way to understand, not having the understanding of dependent arising and wishing to practice the bodhicitta is actually a contradiction. It is not achievable. Okay, in other words, let's see. Okay, from another angle. Achieving enlightenment only by oneself is actually ultimately not doable. Because ultimately, within the Buddha Dharma, non-duality is the supreme view. So therefore, actually there is no such thing as only myself. So thinking enlightenment for only oneself, only myself, is not doable, so to speak. So it's because of these reasons, like Chandrakirti gives wonderful examples, saying that these are not really enlightenment. We are just labeling them as an enlightenment, just to encourage certain group of people. Similarly, Maitreya in the Uttara Tantra, like if at the end, ultimately there is only one vehicle, and that is Mahayana. The other vehicles are some kind of a means to lure or attract beings who have different kinds of emotions. And this is said in this is explained very much in the Shastras. For instance, for those who are nihilistic oriented, okay, going back to the example that we used yesterday, in the mirror, the face, and the order of your face, kind of that non-deceptive order, non-chaotic order of reflection of your face in the mirror, which is not, actually none other than what we call the union of emptiness and clarity. Because of the duality, we always divorce this emptiness and clarity. So what happens? If we fall into the emptiness, we begin to become nihilist. So there, for this kind of people, Buddha actually taught a lot. Kanza, Punko, like person, aggregates. He even said, when I was a bird, when I was a monkey, when I was a king, as if there is a person. These kind of teachings are necessary. And for those who are eternalists, those who have gone astray, or those who have been attracted by the clarity aspect, for them, Buddha emphasized teachings on emptiness. Or even the teachings of the emptiness, Buddha actually categorized into several categories. For instance, those who can understand emptiness, but not fully, not completely, for them, Buddha taught only kind of partial emptiness of refuting or negating the existence. So there are many teachings, things like egolessness and all of that. Now this might create a little bit of debate if there's some Shentongpa or Rangtongpa and all this kind of interest. But anyway, although Buddha taught so many times, all teachings are sometimes divided into kind of three, what we call turning the wheel of the Dharma, and this three occasions are actually, he turned the three different kinds of teachings at three different kinds of occasions. The first one, such as what he taught in Varanasi, was aiming at dispelling what we call non-virtuous, to get rid of the non-virtuous things. So he's Buddha kind of, this for the sake of communication, although Buddha doesn't have intention as we do. So, but anyway, for the sake of communication, Buddha's aim to teach the first sermon, or the first turning the wheel of the Dharma, was mainly to get rid of non-virtuous thoughts and actions. Whereas in the Bodhya speech, for all the Mahayana audience, his interest was more to combat clinging to self. So therefore he taught characteristic-less teachings. No emptiness, form is emptiness, emptiness is form, so on and so forth. Then, at different places, he taught he turned the third wheel of Dharma, which is Tamettawa Kundopa, which is to combat all kinds of views. Even the view of emptiness, he refuted. So, how did we get into this one? Even before that, we have to rewind a little bit more. Oh, I see. Okay. So, I was telling you, at the end, ultimately, only one vehicle, and that is the Mahayana vehicle. All the others are to lure in. Buddha taught many things, and this is quite an important thing that a Buddhist student must realize. So really, I don't know, maybe this is not really the right point, but right time, but variety and different angle of the Buddha's teachings are taught to different occasion, at different occasion, taught to different people who has different elements, motivations and capacities.